With just days left for Joe Biden to take office, the Trump administration has made an 11th-hour decision to designate the Yemen's Houthi rebels as a foreign terrorist organization, with 80% of the war-torn country's population in need of help. A move is likely to worsen the Yemen's growing humanitarian crisis.
These are the last remaining days of the Trump presidency. But the administration is busy making last-minute decisions, ones that can change the fate of West Asia for the foreseeable future. The administration will now designate Yemen's Houthi rebels as a terrorist organization. The decision was announced by Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. In a statement, he said, and I quote, "The designations are intended to hold Ansar Allah accountable for its terrorist acts." The Houthis, however, remain defiant. Political commander Muhammad Ali al-Houthi condemned the move, saying that they have the right to respond. So unless the US Congress blocks the decision, the Houthis will be blacklisted on the 19th of January. Just one day before the inauguration of President-elect Joe Biden,
in more than 60 cases,
the 11th-hour decision was met with severe backlash. It was rebuked by both Democratic and Republican lawmakers. The United Nations asked for a reversal of the decision, and international aid groups swiftly condemned the move. Some even called on Joe Biden to reverse the decision. Many have called this move pure diplomatic vandalism.
Under the best case scenario now, President-elect Biden will come in and on day one, hour one, minute one, revoke these designations. Even under that scenario, the message will have been sent out to the businesses and banks working with Yemeni companies and Yemeni markets all over the world, and it will spook them. And Yemen's markets can't afford to be spooked.
So who are the Houthis? And why is the US putting them on the terror list? The Houthi rebels are officially known as Ansar Allah. The group joined a wider national uprising in Yemen in 2011. It later stormed Yemen's capital of Sana'a in 2014, ousting the Saudi-led coalition government and prompting President Mansour Hadi to flee. While they receive widespread support from Iran, it is not clear how deep that relationship goes. The Houthis currently have thousands of fighters under their control. Even after several years of stalemate, Houthis maintain their hold on Sana'a and most big urban centers. For many in Yemen, the Houthis are the de facto authority.
If the US labels Ansar Allah as a terrorist group, then this will mean that the entire Yemeni people will be included in the list of terrorism.
The decision of the American Foreign Ministry of designating the Ansarullah group as terrorists is a wrong decision because it will further complicate the conditions in Yemen and it will be catastrophic. And we hope as Yemenis that the attacks on Yemen will stop and that the siege will be lifted. This is what we hope for.
The country's government has, however, lauded the decision. Yemen's foreign minister said that the decision could push Houthis towards peace.
I think this is an important decision, as it can be used as a tool by the international community to pressure this group and push them towards peace. It is also part of a policy of imposing maximum pressure on Iran and its arms in the region, including the Houthi group.
The move could complicate Biden's efforts to restart diplomacy with Iran. Should he reverse the Trump administration's decision, resetting the status quo could take a long time, something that Yemen cannot afford right now. West Asia Bureau, WION, World is One.
Yemen has been crippled by years of civil war. Crucial aid is running out. The country is facing a catastrophic situation. So what will this designation mean for the war-torn nation?
Yemen has been described as the worst humanitarian crisis in the world. The country has been mired in conflict since 2014. It all started with a fight between the Saudi-led coalition and rebels. Since then, the war in the West Asian country has killed over 100,000 people, leaving millions suffering from food and medical shortages. Now, this Houthi designation could spell more trouble for Yemen. Designating Yemen's Houthis as a foreign terrorist organization could disrupt crucial peace efforts in the war-torn country. The United Nations is trying to restart political talks to end the war. But the designation could create legal problems to including the Houthis.
I think the negotiations will be greatly affected by this decision. Today, the United States wants to block any paths that lead to stopping the aggression on Yemen and to negotiations.
As for the nationwide ceasefire in Yemen, the Houthis could break off back-channel talks with Saudi Arabia. This means a further escalation of violence in the country, something that the country cannot afford right now. But the most damning impact could be to the delivery of life-saving aid.
We in Yemen hope that the US and other countries can support the efforts of the UN envoy in bringing peace to Yemen. But the decision of designating Ansar Allah as a terrorist group will make things more complicated.
The Houthis control Yemen's capital of Sana'a and the north. The majority of the country's population lives there. This forces international aid groups to work with them. Humanitarian organizations have to get permits to carry out aid. Permits are usually handed out by the Houthis in the region. And that's not all. With the shortage of medicines and basic food items, 80% of Yemen's population relies on international aid to survive. Child malnutrition is at a record high, and the numbers keep soaring every day. Agencies depend on the Houthis to ensure delivery of food and other aid, and the move may disrupt the crucial commercial imports. While the US has assured measures to allow crucial humanitarian activity, citizens remain terrified that food and other supplies will run out. With Yemen facing what could be the world's biggest famine in decades, this designation could leave millions on the verge of starvation. West Asia Bureau, WION, World is One.